It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Okay, now let's see, we got a relish turned out just wonderfully. Not pretty. Blueberries are great, and the canned corn is good. Now I'm going to take and can some carrots, and these are just the little baby carrots. In competition at the state fair, they don't want sliced carrots that are your garden. They want the whole baby carrots. Now this year, or last year, they started the new rule in the vegetable department. They got rid of quite a few categories. And now in vegetable they have a not otherwise specified, which means you can throw just about anything you want in there. So I want to put carrots in this year. And in the previous years when they did carrots, you would always have the small carrots and you'd stack them up so to be standing vertically going around the jar in 2 layers. Well, that's what we're going to try to do today. Hopefully it'll work and hopefully it'll win something. So anyway, what you want to do, now even if you're doing your own carrots out of the garden, it's the same, you do it exactly the same thing. Peel and clean your carrots, and then you can cut them up into any way you want, whether it be slicing or dicing or ripple cut, however you prefer. Thing is after your carrots are all cleaned and cut, then you just put them into boiling water. Oh, carrot. Callie, look at carrot. And I'm just doing two bags. Should get about 4 pints out of this at least. We'll see. And with your carrots, now you got them in the water. Wait for this to come back to a boil. When it boils, turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer for at least 5 minutes. We want to heat and cook those carrots slightly. Heat them thoroughly, but don't overcook them because the pressure cooker is going to take and cook them off anyway. But we want to get them hot so that when they're packed into the jars, when they're done processing in the pressure cooker, the water in the jar is going to be absorbed by the carrots, so they're going to expand. So you don't want to pack them in too tight. You want to allow for the expansion. And if you use a raw carrot, it's going to absorb more of the water, so you have no juice left over. So if you have a cooked carrot, it's not going to absorb as much water. So when you go to packing and you want that 1-inch headspace, you can probably do 3/4 of an inch maybe, because the water is going to be absorbed into that carrot. So you want to compensate for the two. I'm learning this from years of experience. Trial and error, and that's how you learn at the state fair. So we're just going to wait for these to come to a boil, then we'll let them simmer for 5 minutes, and we'll put them in our jars. Now my jars I got going here in the back in the pressure cooker. Remember, in the pressure cooker you want to make sure, and even in a hot boiling bath, you want to have a rack on the bottom. And a pressure cooker is just a real fine, like a little plate. It's real fine galvanized steel. On the bottom there, it's just a little tin plate that lays in the bottom. You just don't want to have direct contact with the bottom of your container, and either or canning, because that will take and break your jar. But you put in about 1 inch or 2 inches of water in the bottom, that's it. Let it boil, and I got my jars in there. I got 4 jars, and they're filled with water so that these can be heated up. So when it comes time to pack them, I just have to dump out the water and set it down on a towel. Jars already hot and ready to go for my hot carrots to put in. So we just let that go. And I'm just going to turn that pressure cooker down because it's hot already. Then we'll come back and we'll get ready to pack them. Okay, now let's see here. We want to get our carrots, we need a funnel. Scoop our carrots out with a slotted spoon. And And we need the grabber for the jar. Callie, what doing? I just got back from the eye doctor because I'm diabetic type 1. And I have to get a yearly exam and have my eyes checked because diabetics can go blind. I'm fine. My eyes are just not perfect, but they're really good. Really, really good. And I don't need prescription lenses for reading. I can just get a pair of reading glasses out from the drugstore. The doctor said, don't spend $100 or $200 on glasses. He goes, just get some reading glasses from the drugstore. You're fine. You got perfect vision for driving. You got great distance vision. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But because I went there and they did the exam, of course, I put the drops in, my eyes are dilated. I can barely see what I'm doing. Everything is so out of focus. I suppose I look like a big owl eyes or something. Anyway, so the jars are all heated. And we want to empty the water out of the jars. And we're going to put our carrots in here. Now, like I said before, if you caught me on my other show, in pressure cooking, when you put your jars of vegetables into the pressure cooker, they can touch each other. They don't have to be not touching each other like in a hot water bath. Pressure cooker, they can touch each other. And this cooker can fit up to 6 jars comfortably. A little snug, but they fit in there. I'm just keeping that covered just to keep it hot. Make sure we get a hot pad. Don't want to burn the countertop. And even that pot's a little hot. Now here's where the tricky part's coming in. In your sliced carrots or diced carrots, however you made them, scoop them in, put them in there, fill them with water so that you're 1 inch from the top again. Just like we did the corn. And you want a ½ teaspoon of salt into each jar. Now you could take and throw it in with the carrots and cook it all together, but I didn't measure out my water for my carrots. I just did that freehand. So you're going to dilute your salt. So make sure you got a ½ teaspoon of salt in each jar. Okay, that one's fine. Now, here's the tricky part. This is going to take some doing. Need some room here. Got one. Slide this over. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Be careful. And I'm just going to scoop these carrots right out and put them into the colander. Now you could say, well, why don't you just dump them in there? Well, because I want to save the water. I want the water, the carrot juice, as you would call it, for my packing. So I want to keep that, I don't want to dump that out. Now we're going to take, and I'm going to put these into my jars, but I got to do this kind of fancy like. It's going to be very tedious, but it's going to have to be done this way. Going to have to take and put these in one at a time until they stand up like this. So give me an hour or ½ hour, whatever, but I would have stopped the tape and start doing it this way, and I'll come back to you when I get them all done. Okay, that didn't take too long, but it was a while. But you can see how I got them all stacked up around the edge, like the end like that. It's going to be nice and pretty. And that counts for competition. It does. Presentation. So now I'm going to take and just fill these up with the water. And you want a 1 inch headspace, which is the bending of the glass there, right below the rim. And I'm going to just cover these up with water and just put a titch bit more, because when this pressure cooker cooks, it's going to the vegetables are going to absorb all the water. So that's going to bring the level down. If I put in exactly an inch headspace with the water, then I'm going to come up short. And then I'll lose points. Actually, I won't lose points. I won't judge it. Out the window it goes. If I don't pass all the pretty looks, doesn't matter how gorgeous it tastes, it will not go into competition. Excuse me, Callie. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. And make sure to take and wipe your rims and the sides of the jars. You don't want any foreign objects on there, especially like when you like applesauce or corn, or you have a chance of getting pieces, and you don't want to have those pieces on the tops or on the edges of your jars, because that interferes with the seal, that rubber band that's on the bottom of that seal, and it won't seal completely. Excuse me, I still can't see. Those eye drops bug my eyes. You want to get rid of any obstruction from any food, foreign substances. Again, also, when you're heating up your jars and stuff and you washed your jars first, that was the first thing you did, check your jars for the edges to make sure there's no nicks or cracks, no chips in there. You don't want that either, because if you do, throw it away. That's going to allow air to seep inside and it's going to spoil your food. You have to have perfect jars. You can reuse jars from year to year and use to use. Just make sure they're not chipped. And then, like I said before, rather than leaving my lids and bands soaking in hot water, I don't like to do that. That to me is going to melt that band, and I don't want that to happen. I just take and dip my lid and ring in the boiling water for a few seconds, because that's already hot, and that's going to sanitize it, and that's going to give that water seal between the rubber and the glass jar. And you just put these on loosely for now. And now we'll take and put them on snugly. These twist it tight, but not extremely tight. You don't want it extremely tight, but you want it snug fit. And you can put that right into your pressure cooker. Now remember, all vegetables get pressure cooker. Fruits, hot water bath, pickles, relishes, jams, all in a hot water bath. But vegetables have to be pressure cookered, because it's the pH level of the vegetable, the acidityness of it, that determines if it's going to be hot water bath or pressure cooker. And vegetables' acidity is lower, so you have to take and pressure cooker. Now when pressure cooking, I got the lid closed. I rinsed the inside of my lid out because there's a rubber gasket on the top of that lid. You want to make sure that seals and comes in contact with your bottom pot. The water will help connect that seal. If it's completely dry, sometimes it won't seal. So like, because you're going to have that steam pressure in there, just to get that moist will help to seal. Now, bring this to a boil. When the pressure cooker, the top here, the weight starts rattling, I mean heavily, and steams are coming out, it's boiling. turn it down to a simmer so that you have a really low rattle. Just a real slight rattle, not a heavy one, just a little one. Just a little one. And that happens when you turn the heat back down to low, to a simmer. And we'll time that for 25 minutes. It's not going to explode. This is the modern pressure cooker with the weighted seal on it. The old-fashioned kind with the dial a gauge on it that Grandma had, those are the ones you had to be careful with because you couldn't really adjust the heat that well. They were hard to figure out the pressure in there. The weighted ones are perfect because when the pressure's there, it pops up, the steam comes out, and that tells you when to turn it down. Different elevations have different weights. In our elevation of 1,000 feet, this is a 10-pound weight. It doesn't weigh 10 pounds. It pressurizes at 10 pounds. So now when this comes up to a rattle, we'll just take and turn that to a slow simmer. Let it rattle slowly. And for carrots, those get timed for 25 minutes. When the 25 minutes is done, turn off your oven and let your kettle sit. Do not open it. Let it sit for a good half an hour until all the steam has escaped. And you can tell that when you're going to open it, if there's any steam coming out, when you lift this up. If it doesn't have any steam coming out, then you can open it and you're safe. But a lot of people like to take and try to do it quickly. No, that's when you're going to explode because its whole contents is under pressure. You have to let that cool down naturally, which is at least a half an hour, and then you can open the lid. But before you open, always test with that weight on top to make sure there's no, hear that? That's the steam building up. Before you take the cover off, you don't want that sound. You want it to be dead. And then that tells you when it's safe to open up. So after this comes to boil, turn it down to simmer, 25 minutes, and then we'll be done with our carrots. Okay, you hear that? That's the heavy steam rattling out. Now we'll take and turn this down to a simmer. And you see how that rattling has slowed down a lot. That's what you want. Now, like I said, these are carrots. They get timed for 25 minutes. In fact, we can turn that up just a little bit. Because you still want a little rattle. You don't want it completely dead. You want a rattle on there. You just don't want a heavy one. There, and then we'll come back in 25 minutes and I'll turn that off. Let it sit for half an hour so it's not completely cool because it's still going to be hot inside. But so that the steam has a chance to, the pressure has a chance to escape. After half an hour, then we can open that up and take our jars out. But we got timed this for 25 minutes. Shut it off. Well, the carrots are done. The 25 minutes are up. Turn that off. Let this sit for half an hour now until when you jiggle it, see that still pressure and steam in there? Let it sit for half an hour before you open up and you don't hear that pressure coming out. That's your test, and then you can open up, take your jars out, let them sit at room temperature for about 24 hours. You want to let them sit overnight. You don't want to disturb them because you want that to sit and seal. Keep them out of a cool draft. Do not let the breeze blow on them or air conditioning. That cool air will crack those jars in a second, so don't do that. Be careful. And pressure cooking is safe. It is fun and it's very easy to do. Just follow the simple rules. So we hope you enjoy those. Now, Callie, let's see who wrote us this week. Mail time.
Who let the dog out?
Oh, Callie, who let the dogs out? Oh, come here. Oh, come here. No, you want to go around so people can see you? Come here. Yeah. I gotta park my scooter. Come here, Tweet. Oh, yeah, I got Tweet here. Right here. Yeah, oh, we can't just take it. You gotta sit pretty. Get on. Here, sit pretty. Oh, yeah. Let's see who wrote us this week, Callie. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie. Remember, my eyes are dilated. I happen to run out of all-purpose cleaner. What do you recommend for sanitizing your surface countertops when cooking? Signed, Sheila of Minneapolis. Oh, Sheila. Callie, what are you doing? Come here. Get in here. Easy way is a bleach water. And everybody wants to know how much bleach to the water. What it is, it's 1 teaspoon of bleach per gallon of water. So if you just have a half gallon or quarter, if you have a quarter gallon sprayer, 1 quart sprayer, that would be a fourth of a tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons to a tablespoon. So take about 3/4 of a teaspoon of bleach to a squirt bottle. To make it safer, I would take your regular squirt bottle to about 12 ounces and just put in a half a teaspoon of bleach to a full squirt bottle of water. Let me see what we got here. This one here is, this size is 1 quart. So I would take and put in half a teaspoon. Fill it with water and just half a teaspoon of bleach. That is a great sanitizer because that's what I always do. You don't always see me do it on the show because in between takes when I stop the camera, I take it, I go around and I spray everything down and I sanitize completely just to help keep things clean. There's nothing worse than getting your family sick or whatever. So if you don't have any disinfectant or any bleach spray or whatever, you can make your own homemade bleach by putting, for 1 quart of water, put in a half teaspoon of bleach. And that'll do it. Hope that answers your question, Sheila. And for you, the viewer, if you have any questions for Callie and I, you can tell she's licking her water up. Yeah, make a lot of noise there, Callie, slopping away. Just write us at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com, and Callie and I will try to get back to you as best as we possibly can. And we might even air your question on the show. So, from Miss Callie and myself, come here, Callie, you gotta say goodbye. Get over here.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Come here. Come here. Come here. From Miss Callie and myself, healthy eating, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Say goodbye, Callies. Come here. Come here. Get out here. And sit pretty. Sit. There you go. Oh, it's getting slippery for you. That's why. You can't do it on the slippery floor. I just cleaned. Bye-bye.